AFC East today. The New York Jets pay a visit to the Miami Dolphins. How important is it? Well, if the Jets can snap their 3-game losing streak and the Dolphins' 3-game winning streak, New York can close to within a game of division-leading Miami in the AFC East. Hi, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. Welcome to the rematch. A month ago, the Jets rallied from a 23-point fourth-quarter deficit to beat Miami in overtime. That was a bit of an aberration, Phil, because these Miami Dolphins hang their hats on defense.
Well, they do, Greg. The biggest reason why Miami is 8-2 is their defense. Now, in a league where passing is king, when you can have not one, but two pass rushers from the outside, that is something. Jason Taylor and Trace Armstrong, 22.5 sacks. Now you take that pass rush, and now you put in the defensive secondary two corners who, as Al Gross said, it's hard for anybody to get away from these guys. Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain, it makes it difficult for the opposing team's offense. Now, that talks about Vinny Testaverde. Tough start so far this year. People want to know about him. Well, he's got to throw the football in some tight spots, make good decisions for the Jets to have a chance to win today.
It is a beautiful day here in the Fort Lauderdale area. 83 degrees. A little rain earlier today, but the forecast says it'll be mostly sunny. The Miami Dolphins have won the toss, and they have elected to receive. And there is a look at Vinny Testaverde. He will be second up on offense. Dave Wannstedt, 5-0 at home as the Miami head coach. His Dolphins have lost 5 straight to the New York Jets. Al Groh, his team 3-2 on the road.
Al Groh, even though it's hot and humid, Greg, he's going with that fashionable gray sweatshirt today.
Makes you wonder if he knows something.
Well, you know, football game, you got to suffer a little. So he figures, I'll just suffer in this gray sweatshirt, do some sweating, and get in there with my team.
Well, the Jets started out like a house of fire this season with a 6-1 record. Victory number 6 coming a month ago in the Meadowlands in overtime over these Dolphins, and since then they've hit a 3-game slide. The Dolphins have gone in just the opposite direction since that heartbreaking loss where they saw a huge fourth-quarter lead evaporate. But Dave Wannstedt's crew has pulled it together and have won 3 straight and lead the division.
And for a team, Greg, that's 8-2, I find them a little bit on the defensive side. In other words, people not giving them a lot of credit. And, of course, the way they've lost to the New York Jets, that's put them on edge, too.
Autry Denson, J.J. Johnson are deep for the kick from John Hall, and we're underway. Low line drive, taken at 2-yard line by Denson to the 20. Hit at the 25 and falls forward to about the 27-yard line. A 25-yard return. Quietly efficient Jay Fiedler starts at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. The Dartmouth grad has not thrown an interception since the last time these teams met. That's a 3-game stretch. He does what they ask him to do, and he does it well.
Well, that's hard to do, but he's accomplishing those things, Greg, not turning the football over like you said the last 3. And the last 2 games, he has gotten off to terrific starts, 10 for 10 and 9 for 9. So good game planning and a relaxed quarterback at the start of games.
Dolphins have also been able to hit a big play at the start of each game, and Fiedler, the throw here, pulls it down, pressure from behind, and he's brought down close to the line of scrimmage by Mo Lewis.
Well, you look at the Miami offensive line, it's been steady this year. It's led by the center, number 61, Tim Ruddy.
The backs and the receivers, Lamar Smith, 10 rushing touchdowns on the season in the backfield with Rob Conrad. Gadsden and Shepard the wideouts. Hunter Goodwin starts at tight end. And Jay Fiedler is still on the ground after being hit from behind by Mo Lewis.
Well, let's take a look at, they're trying to throw a quick pass to the outside. The Jets double cover the wide receivers. Nobody is open. From the backside, Mo Lewis comes. Lands hard on his right shoulder.
And he is still on the ground as we take another look. Mo Lewis coming hard.
Well, Mo Lewis not giving up on a play, even though it was a short drop by the quarterback. Kept hustling. Coverage down the field allows him to come around and make the tackle.
Meanwhile, Damon Heward getting loose, the fourth-year quarterback out of the University of Washington.
Well, he hasn't seen much action this season, Damon Heward, but he got a lot of snaps in preseason. Of course, Greg played so much last year when Dan Marino was down with injury.
Well, it's not good news for Dave Wanstedt that Fiedler is still on the ground at about the 27-yard line. We saw him fall on that shoulder. The most prominent shoulder in the last week has been that of Brian Greasy, who injured his shoulder in the Monday night outing.
Yeah, I can't see him grabbing anything. I don't know, so we're just guessing when we're sitting up here talking about it. But let's see if we can tell as he goes his shoulder and his helmet. His helmet hits the ground pretty hard too.
Well, he gets a cheer as he is up and begins to walk off the field and appears to be working the helmet. So he'll come off. Damon Heward will come on and see his first action in the regular season this year. Has not yet taken a snap, has not thrown a pass.
Well, when you look at this Jets defense, Greg, I think one of the big stories with the Jets football team, yes, everybody talks about Vinny Testaverde, but this defense, it's been the most disappointing part. The last 4 weeks especially, they have got to play well. They match up very good against this Miami offense, and they got to give their offense some short field so they don't have to go 70 and 80 yards to score touchdowns today.
So Heward, and there's movement on the far side of the field. Tight end Hunter Goodwin came up before the snap. They continue to look at Fiedler on the sidelines.
Prior to the snap, false start, 83 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
First call of the day from our referee Ron Winter. It'll be 2nd and 16.
That kind of took a little bit of life out of the crowd here at the stadium. It was very loud before kickoff, but when the quarterback goes down, you get a penalty. We're like sitting back and waiting for something good to happen now.
You heard the pitch for Lamar Smith. Smith almost broke through, but he's brought down at the 25-yard line by Shane Burton to pick up a 4. It'll be 3rd and 12. The Jet defense with 3-4. Lyle, Ferguson, and Shane Burton up front. The linebackers, Mo Lewis, ex-Dolphin Brian Cox, Marvin Jones, and James Ferrier.
And when you look at the Jets secondary, it's not having a good year, giving up big plays. Number 31, Aaron Glenn, he's the star of that secondary. He's got to play well today.
4 wide receivers. J.J. Johnson is into the lineup. And from the shotgun, Heward throws long, far sideline, incomplete, overthrew his intended receiver, number 80, Tony Martin. Let's go down to Armin Katayan on the sidelines. Armin.
Greg, the quick update here on Fiedler is a pinched nerve in his neck. You can see him working on him right now. The symptoms down his right arm. Too early to tell if he will return, but he is not happy about it. Back to you.
All right, Armin. So on to the field to kick now for the Dolphins is Matt Turk. Dedrick Ward waves for a fair catch. The ball bounces inside the 30 and will come to rest at about the 28-yard line. 46-yard punt, no return. Vinny Testaverde, 15 touchdowns, 15 picks this season. 3 of those interceptions against these Dolphins in the overtime game a month ago.
Well, Testaverde, I've never been in a city or read so many articles that deal with the quarterback. And yes, it's not been a great year, but coming off 1998, where he had a spectacular season, his play is always under scrutiny, and he's just got to be more efficient. In other words, when the receiver's open, he's got to hit them, and he's got to avoid that 1 or 2 big mistakes he's been making every game.
Curtis Martin, the only man in the backfield behind Testaverde on first down. And he gets the handoff, tries the left side, and there's not much there.
Well, let's look at the Jets offensive line. The one thing they must do, led by the center Kevin Mawai, they've got to do a better job in the run game.
In the backfield with Curtis Martin is Richie Anderson, the Jets' leading receiver. Corbett and Ward, the wide receivers, and the rookie Anthony Beck is at tight end. Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, looks on. This is a 2nd and 8 for Testaverde. On the draw, Martin not going to get anywhere. Grabbed onto by Daryl Gardner and Rich Owens, the Miami defensive line.
Well, when you look at this defensive line, Greg, it has power inside with Bowens and Gardner, and the speed on the outside with Taylor, Mixon, and Armstrong to rush the passer.
Middle linebacker Zach Thomas misses his 4th straight game with the right ankle sprain. Robert Jones takes his place in the middle. Twan Russell on the outside.
The secondary playing as good as anybody in the league. Sam Madison, I think, and a lot of people think around the league, could be the best cover corner in football right now.
3rd and 9 and 4 wide receivers for the Jets. Testaverde's first pass of the day over the middle, incomplete, marker flies. Richie Anderson, the intended receiver. And Terrence Shaw was the man covering him.
Now, usually when you see a defensive back matched up against a running back, you go, big advantage for the defense.
Number 22 defense. Penalized at the spot of the foul. First down.
But you look at Terrence Shaw, gets his hands on Richie Anderson, and even all the Dolphins, Jim Bates, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, says when the Jets split their running backs out, they're not like just guys out there with window dressing. They run routes and catch the football like wide receivers. There's Jim Bates.
From the 35. Curtis Martin changes direction, tries the left side, and it's dragged down at about the line of scrimmage. Brian Walker racing up from his safety position to make the stop.
Well, Brian Walker just having such a tremendous year. Number 45, watch him as you break it outside. He just comes flying up, knows there can't be a pass, and does a good job making the tackle.
Brian Walker, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, off of his 2-interception, 9-tackle performance against San Diego last week.
I got dizzy looking at that overhead view that time, Greg.
Don't look. Testaverde on 2nd and 10, going to give it to Bernie Parmalee. That goes nowhere.
That just illustrates the strength to be a really good defense in the National Football League. And this Miami defense, it is good. And we're going to find out as the year goes here, the rest of the year, do they have a chance to be great. But when you can dominate up front, it just makes coverage in the secondary, stopping the run, all those things, it makes them easy. And that time, the defensive line was 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
The huge boost for the Miami defense today is Daryl Gardner, number 92, is back in the middle of that line to team with Tim Bowens. Parmalee and Anderson are in the backfield on 3rd down. Testaverde throws this side complete to Anderson out of the backfield, but he is going to be well short of a first down. Terrence Shaw makes the tackle. And the Jets will be forced to kick it away.
Well, the one thing you could notice on that offense series by the New York Jets, trying to establish Curtis Martin, and Al Gross said, we got to find a way to get him in the game because he is probably the best player of the New York Jets football team.
Jeff Ogden is deep for Miami, standing at his own 17-yard line. Ogden has returned 1 punt for a touchdown this year. An 81-yard return. He'll field this one at the 21 and drag down at the 24-yard line. A 40-yard punt and a 3-yard return, and Damon Heward will come back onto the field to lead the Miami offense. You'll get dizzy, but it is a beautiful view of Pro Player Stadium as Damon Heward brings the Miami offense to the line. First down. Not much offense in this game so far. Movement up front. Penalty markers fly. Let's see if this one's on Jason Ferguson in the middle of the Jet defense.
Come on, Ron.
Encroachment. 72 defense. A
That's
5-yard
who
penalty.
it is. As we said earlier,
Remains
since
first
that
down.
game a month ago in overtime, you would think the emotions would have been exactly opposite of what they are, but the Jets have lost 3 times while Miami has gone on to win 3. Look at the difference in turnovers, the difference in quarterback sacks.
Yeah, you can see the reasons why they win. The Jets have played 3 quality teams in that span and had a chance to win them all, but couldn't make the plays at the end.
They play straight ahead just across the 30-yard line is Lamar Smith.
Now, you look at this, Jay Fiedler out as the starting quarterback for the Dolphins, you think, well, that's got to be a big boost to the Jets defense. But the way the Dolphins now play offense, it's a little conservative. It's really well designed by Chan Gailey to complement their defense. There's Chan Gailey, the new offensive coordinator down here. It makes it, I think, a lot easier for a quarterback to come in that's been on the bench, make the transition, and execute the offense.
2 tight ends on 2nd and 2 for Miami. They'll keep it on the ground again. And hit hard at about the line of scrimmage is Lamar Smith. Rick Lyle was right in there for the New York Jets.
Now you can hear the crowd kind of moan a little, but you know, when you're going to run the football and you're going to play this style, there's going to be a lot of ugly moments. And when you run up the middle and you get a half a yard, it's ugly.
That one qualified, yeah.
It's qualified right in there, but it takes patience and deep belief in what you're doing. And we know that Dave Wanstead, he's been around Jimmy Johnson for so many years, and he believes in running the football. And Chan Gailey, again, the offensive coordinator, that's his belief. So the Dolphins will stick to it even though it doesn't work.
Quick toss to Smith, and the Jets sniffed that one out back at the 25-yard line. James Farrier had it covered from the get-go.
Now, I'll tell you what, that's something you haven't seen from the Jets in a while. Everybody just doing their job. Don't watch the quarterback. Watch the fake quarterback sneak. Then they throw it back. And the Jets, everybody stays disciplined, goes where they're supposed to. You have outside containment, stay there. And this is a play that Chan Gailey has run in the past, so the Jets know that he has a few tricks up his sleeve, and they were ready for the first one.
Turk to kick it away to Dedrick Ward. High floater, fair catch called for at about the 26-yard line. So we are still scoreless after the 47-yard punt by Matt Turk. We'll take a timeout and be right back. Bills have won at Kansas City. Indianapolis has lost at Green Bay. So Miami at 8-2, Indy and Buffalo at 7-4, the Jets at 6-4. Things get a little snug as you approach Thanksgiving Day. The pitch for Curtis Martin, right side, blocking in front. Hit hard at the 30, hit to about the 32-yard line, a pick up a 5 on the play. Terrence Shaw and Derek Rogers making the stop.
Now, the one thing, Greg, you know, we got this. We were at the Dolphins practice on Friday, and we talked to so many players, and everybody kind of agrees around the league. When you play this Jets offense, it's finesse. That's what they say. You know, it's finesse. They try to go misdirections, screens, a lot of draws. They move the receivers, just trying to catch you off guard. That is harder to do against the Dolphins because of their speed and the power they have inside on defense.
Testaverde on 2nd and 5, gives it to Martin, who breaks through to the 40, the 44-yard line. It'll be a first down for the New York Jets. The safeties, Walker and Marion, make the stop.
And as I say that, Greg, the one place it's probably hardest to run, Curtis Martin's going to cut it back up inside. Look at the angles, the Jets, nice job. Tight end comes across, blocks. Kevin Mawai pulls around. Look at this, a lot of misdirection. Starts to the right, cuts it back to the left. Catches Darrell Gardner off guard, and it makes the safeties make the tackle.
But you're right. Well, Jim Bates, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, probably said it best. The Jets aren't a hardball team. A lot of finesse, draws, misdirection.
That's an option.
This is Gerald Saul, and now it's Biff to Martin. Finesse, misdirection.
Well, see, I like plays like this because what they're trying to do is take advantage of a team that can react really quick. And let's look at it. Trace Armstrong. He's got to contain on the outside. He gets to Gerald Soule so quick, he doesn't give him time to pitch it to Curtis Martin. But look at the Dolphins run to the football, make the tackle for a short gain.
Pickup of just 1 on the play. Al Bro looks on at 2nd and 9.
See both teams pulling out some wrinkles early, trying to get advantage, get on top. I think it's big in this game. You can dictate the pace of play if you get a lead.
Testaverde with the screen for Martin, dragged down from behind. Darrell Gardner who has played in just 4 games this year, is back in the lineup after a back injury, and he is big for Miami's defense.
Well, he's big in every sense of the word, Greg. Now, see, screens are a little tougher against the Dolphin defense. They are fast on the outside, but you got Daryl Gardner. Now take a look at him right here. Him and Tim Bowens inside really don't rush the passer. They stand to the line of scrimmage, so when you throw those screens, they run down the sides and make the tackles.
3rd and 10. Play action. Testaverde steps up, throws, complete to Corbett, and a penalty marker is down. Corbett was hit before the football got there by Brian Walker.
That's a good call, but it's a nice catch by Wayne Corbett to get the first down anyway.
Ron Winter makes the interference call.
Pass interference. Number 31, defense. Penalizes the spot of the foul. First down.
See, there's Wayne Corbett. See him up top. He's going to come across the middle. Now, the one thing you always think, well, why don't you put your best cover guy, that's Brian Walker, who has the pass interference, on Wayne Corbett. The Dolphins would like to do that, but the problem is he moves around so much. He lines up in so many different positions that you just going to have to put whoever space he comes into, they're going to have to cover him.
Jets go back to the ground game with Curtis Martin. Jerry Wilson makes the stop, and that's the one thing that Al Grove, who has been resisting all of the conversation all week long about saying, why don't you open it up a little more because the Jets perform so well in the 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. Al Grove told us, I'd hate to lose Curtis Martin, who's only the best player on the field.
Yeah, you would hate to do that, Greg. And also, you got to remember the Jets execute this hurry-up offense and come from behind late in the game when they are frantic and they know they have to make the plays. They wouldn't have that same sense of urgency in the first quarter if they went to it.
On 2nd and 6, Martin again. Straight ahead, and that big duo in the middle of the defense, Bowens and Gardner.
You know, I got caught in the same trap. What did we ask Al Groh last night? Well, why don't you just come out, do what you did in the 4th quarter against the Dolphins, and, you know, he shot our theory right down. One, it limits your offense. You can't get all your people involved. And the biggest thing of all is your offense and your team knows it's not do or die and they're behind.
3rd and 4. Testaverde has it tipped at the line and it falls incomplete.
Well, tip passes usually come from defensive linemen. They come because they're getting penetration. In other words, that time it's Tim Bowens making the knock. No, it's Jermaine Haley, a backup defensive lineman. They're getting a good push against the offensive lineman. They get close to the quarterback, and he cannot throw over the top of them.
Let's see if we have a flag due to a little extra pushing and shoving on the field.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 52 of the defense. A 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's Robert Jones' penalty, and that gives the Jets a first down.
Watch it. Robert Jones going against Wayne Corbett. Well, you know, you just can't do that.
Meanwhile, here was a little pushing and shoving between Mawai and number 99, or rather Jason Fabini and Jason Taylor.
Well, we watched film, Greg. Now, I'll tell you, if I was a defensive lineman for any team that played against the New York Jets, I would always be on the lookout because they hit until the whistle blows and maybe just a little bit after.
First down for the Jets. The pitch to Curtis Martin. Inside the 25. Trace Armstrong and Terrence Shaw with the stop after a 2-yard gain. Dave Wanstead trying to rally his troops. Well, the Jets trying to do something that they didn't have much success in the first 3 quarters of that game. With Richie Anderson going off to the sideline. Jets didn't have much success at all against this defense in the first 3 quarters of the previous meeting.
Well, you can see the Jets, Greg, like you said, they're making a point, trying to get Curtis Martin, get him involved in a game. And the more you try to run it, of course, it's going to make your play action game a little more effective.
Testaverde got rid of it just as he got hammered from behind by Jason Taylor.
Well, there's Jason Taylor, a guy for the Dolphins defense that you didn't hear a lot from last year. In fact, he always heard, watching from the top of your screen, working against Jason Fabini, he is just so fast. And he's a little excited getting to the quarterback. But we asked him, why such a difference in your play this year, Jason, compared to last year? He goes, man, I'm just playing better because I want to shut everybody up.
He said he had the opportunities last year, he just didn't make the plays. 10th play of this drive is a 3rd and 8. On the draw, Martin not going to get it. Darrell Gardner makes yet another play for the Miami defense, and the field goal unit comes onto the field.
Well, I tell you, Greg, I couldn't wait to see this Miami defense in person to kind of judge it. You watch it on TV, you watch it on film, and sometimes those films lie, and when you watch it in person, you can see why they're 8-2. They get after every aspect of the offensive game.
John Hall has hit his last 10 field goals from 45 yards or less. This is a 39-yarder. Right down the middle of the field, and it's perfect. So the Jets draw first blood and lead it 3-0. Coverage of today's game.
I couldn't live down here. It's too nice. I'd be lazy. I wouldn't do anything. I'd be, well, I think I'll go outside and sit on the beach.
You get used to it. Autry Denson and J.J. Johnson deep. This will be Denson inside 5. To the 15 and out to the 18-yard line. Off of the John Hall field goal. The Jets lead for only the 2nd time this year. They've scored first. We'll be back. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Kitsayan. Under a minute to play here in the first quarter, and the Miami Dolphins back to work from their own 19-yard line. Dolphins have had 2 drives and 2 3-and-outs. Pitch for Autry Denson in the backfield. He's crossed the 20 to about the 24-yard line. And let's check in with Armin Kitsayan. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You know, that scoring drive by Testaverde had to go a long way to help his confidence because his head coach had been under siege, bombarded by the media in New York all week long. Are you going to replace Testaverde? What are you going to do with him? He went out of his way to say, Testaverde is my guy, going so far as to go into the locker room and come up to Vinny and show him a $1 bill and say, look, Vinny, this says in God we trust. In this organization, it's in Vinny we trust. We're with you and only you as far as you can take us. Back to you, Greg.
Thanks, Armin.
I'd say that's a pretty good vote of confidence.
On 2nd and 5. The pitch and cutting it back is Denson, and Denson crossed the 30 for a first down. And with that play, time runs down here in the first quarter. We've played 15 minutes, and the New York Jets have grabbed the 3-0 lead on the John Hall 39-yard field goal. This is the rematch. The Jets lead at 3-0. A little bit of a problem with the official and Dave Wanstead trying to straighten his wide receiver who's on the sidelines out, and Lamar Thomas left the field.
I think they made him leave, Greg.
Heward rolls, goes back the other way, still has it, flips over the middle to Denson. Denson brought down at about the 36 or 37-yard line by Mo Lewis, and a fine scrambling job by Damon Heward.
Well, that's the one thing you'd like to think the Dolphins could do today, some play-action passes, because they're so committed to running the football that if I was playing defense, my first thought for sure would be dig in here, you know, buckle up and try to stop the running game.
Sean Gailey has called 6 running plays to 3 passes. And on the double tight end setup, Lamar Smith gets the toss. The former Seahawk out close to the 40-yard line, will be about 2 yards short. You know, people say, hey, this guy Lamar Smith, where did he come from? You know, he's got at least 1 rushing touchdown in each of the last 4 games. And his 10 rushing touchdowns have him tied with Edgerrin James going into the day as number 1 in the NFL.
Well, there's one of the reasons why he's having success. He just runs it up in there hard. And who am I? We're going to play a little game as we take a break here, Greg.
I love games.
I am in the 7th NFL season.
5th in the AFC in rushing yardage. Not Ricky Waters, is it?
Nope.
And not even Curtis Martin. And Lamar Smith has established quite a little name for himself this season. He gets the handoff again. Turns the corner on the left side, has a first down and more as he's bounced down at about the 47-yard line. An 8-yard pickup.
I'll tell you, this is a nice run, but Deion Dyer, number 33, just watch the fullback. It looks like this play is not going to make it back to the line of scrimmage. He peels back and gets Marvin Jones with the block, and that frees up Lamar Smith to pick up a first down. That was a nice job by the fullback, keeping his eyes open and looking for wherever trouble comes from. That time it was from the inside.
Autry Denson back onto the field in the backfield behind Ewert. That's Conrad in motion, and Ewert going to roll this way. Pumps, throws, has his man at midfield. That's Jed Weaver. And a fumble on the play, and the Jets have the football. Marvin Jones covers the football on the fumble by Jed Weaver, the second-year tight end out of Oregon, and the Jets get the break. Weaver on the sideline. He's not used to handling the football. That was only his 4th reception of the year, and he coughed it up.
Well, Greg, we said earlier, this is what the Jets need. They need help from the defense. Here's a short field, only 40 or 54 yards to the end zone. Gives your offense a much better chance against this defense.
This is Parmalee. Parmalee, the ex-Miami Dolphin, across midfield to about the 47-yard line. Let's go back to the fumble.
Well, let's look what happens. Nice job by Jed Weaver. He uncovers himself, goes back to the inside, ball to the inside. Ernie Logan, good hustle, defensive lineman, causes the fumble. Look at Dave Wannstedt. I like that. You know, just, hey, let him know what you think right away. And of course, I think he said, I don't like it very much, Jed.
Parmalee and Soul in the backfield for the Jets. Parmalee gets nowhere as that one is stuffed. Prior to the line of scrimmage, a loss of 2 on the play, and once again, Daryl Gardner with the play.
Well, he's big. He's hard to stop inside. Daryl Gardner. You know, we talked to Al Groh last night. Daryl Gardner, number 92, and then Tim Bowen's 95. Look at both of them in the backfield. He says they are almost immovable inside. It makes it so hard to run the football in there. Most teams do not have 2 really good run stoppers on the inside of their defense.
3rd and 5. Testaverde, quick drop, throws far side, complete first down, Dietrich Ward and more. And he is out of bounds just short of the 35-yard line at about the 37, but it'll be a Jets first down after a 12-yard pickup.
Boy, a lot of talking going on between these teams. You can tell they don't like each other. There is a good rivalry here, but that time, Testaverde threw the football on time exactly where it had to be, and when that happens, you just can't defend those kind of throws.
You know, Armin was talking about Al Groh saying, we in Vinny we trust. Any of your coaches ever do that with you?
Yes, Phil, if you don't play better, we're going to take you out. That was the trust. How's that? Something like that, Greg.
5 wide receivers for the Jets. Testaverde throws, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by Brian Walker. Walker on the return to the 20, the 25, the 30, to the 40, to the 44-yard line. Dwight Stone caught him from behind. Walker's 5th interception of the season. And the Dolphins turn things right back around. We'll be back. Reception, but Al Groh feels that Brian Walker was down by contact. Let's take a look.
Well, there's a couple things in the play. Trace Armstrong gets pressure on Testaverde, hits his arm. Wayne Corbett wide open. There's the interception. There's the touch. Looks like Wayne Corbett does stick his hand out and touch Brian Walker while he's on the ground. Well,
And that would be at the 14-yard line, so that would be a difference of 30 yards.
Well, as always, Greg, I spoke a little soon. I can't tell. The first angle looked like he did touch him. Look closely, everybody.
That's a touch.
There we go. All right. That's a good replay. That's the one they'll show, and he is definitely down there. But, you know, it brings back a lot of things. The Jets get field position. They got a chance. They're going to score. Wayne Corbett is wide open. But because of pressure from Trace Armstrong, Testaverde's pass, his arm is hit. That's really a good look at the touch on Brian Walker.
Trace Armstrong coming into this game with 12.5 sacks. That's the best in the AFC and number 3 in the National Football League.
You know, we learned so much when we talk to coaches around the league. One of the things we have learned as announcers, and we talk to them every night before games, is that hitting the quarterback is like the most important thing about this game right now. Because when you hit the quarterback, it makes decisions. He has to make decisions quicker. And, of course, when he does that, he's not going to be as good, not going to see as cleanly, and he will throw off target. And we've seen that a couple times already today. Miami getting to the quarterback, making the throws go off target.
We have 10:54 to play, and here comes Ron Winter with his decision. And we're talking about a 30-yard swing on the field on this
Well,
call.
this game is, Greg, this is really important in this game more than most NFL games. Field position, offenses, and as good as Miami's defense is, 30 yards is a lot.
New York has challenged the ruling on the field that the runner was not down by contact. After reviewing the play, the intercepting player was touched by number 80 of the offense. The ball belongs to Miami at the 14-yard line. First down. New York Jets are not charged with a timeout.
So the Jets win the challenge, but Vinny Testaverde has tossed his 16th interception, and out of the 16, 10 of them in the second quarter. That's how Vinny's tossed his interceptions this year, and this is number 10 in the second quarter.
Well, you know, usually when we show graphics like this, I always have an answer, and I can tell you why and explain it. And I can look at this graphic here, Greg, and I have no reason or no idea. It's his second quarter. He takes a lot of chances, and that time his size and his ability to hang in there caused the interception.
Denson on the toss, avoids a tackle, tries to bounce outside, and is forward to the 17-yard line, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Chris Hayes comes up from the secondary. Hayes, the latest starter at safety at a position for the New York Jets, which at the very least has been in flux, not just for this season, for the last couple of years. I think the number is 12 different starters at that position since 1995.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, as I look at this Jets defense today, they match up well against Miami's offense. The Jets are built to stop the running game. They're conservative, and the Miami wide receivers are not that dynamic, so the Jet corners should be able to cover them down the field.
Heward play fakes on 2nd and 7, throws it over the middle, incomplete, and a marker is down. Tony Martin, the intended receiver, Marcus Coleman, the cover man. Coleman on the hold.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 42 defense. A 5-yard penalty and a first down.
Well, let's watch Marcus Coleman, number 42, against Tony Martin. Nice move. That's it right from the start. He faked outside. When he went inside, Marcus Coleman says, nope, I'm not going to let you get up the field too quick. Stuck his arm out there and held him.
And instead of Miami having to punt from deep in their own territory, they get a first down now to the 22-yard line. Lamar Smith back in the backfield for Miami. Heward to throw. Flips it out, complete to the 24, maybe the 25-yard line to Lamar Smith. And we go back to New York and check in with Jim Nance. Jim.
All right, Ryan Leaf at quarterback today for the Chargers, and get really to the effort of Conway right here. will go as the longest touchdown pass of Ryan Leaf's career. 68 yards, and the Chargers lead at Denver 10-7. Let's go back to Greg and Bill.
All right, Jim. Boy, San Diego. You always hate to play those teams that are winless, don't you? Because you wonder if you're the one that's going to be behind the 8 ball.
Trust me, that is a lot of pressure for the Denver Broncos or whoever plays them in that situation.
Denson takes the toss and can't go anywhere. Victor Green and Roman Pfeiffer converge for the stop.
You know, something that Greg is just to go back to that highlight we saw. Ryan Leaf, I know for 3 years he has been beat a lot out there in San Diego, and a lot of deserved, but he is so big and can look down the field and throw it with such ease that if he ever gets it together, he can still be a very, very effective quarterback in the NFL.
I know quarterbacking isn't all arm strength, but it's a lot of it, and he's got a lot of that. 3rd and 9. You see how far the Dolphins have to go for a first down from the shotgun. Hewitt on the blitz. Throws it over the middle, has his man. And that will be enough for a first down. Leslie Shepard across the middle for a 10-yard gain.
Boy, that is such a nice job by Damon Heward, hanging in the pocket now. He really hasn't played this year. Watch Brian Cox coming up the field, keeps his vision down the field, steps up. Boy, and most importantly, look at that. Keeps 2 hands on the football, so when Brian Cox hits his arm, the ball didn't come flying out.
Leslie Shepard is limping off the field after making that reception. Shepard, 7th-year man out of Temple University. And he'll try to get it together on the sideline as the Dolphins go back to work with a first down. Gadsden and McDuffie are now the wide receivers, and they're to the top of your screen. Heward throws. That's complete. J.J. Johnson with room to run. Penalty marker is down in the backfield. And the Jets say this is against the Dolphins.
And it will be. It looks like Tim Ruddy gets out the lead to screen. It gets a holding call called against him. Now, the New York Jets, they should and know a lot about this Miami offense. Al Groh, when he was in New York, you know, this system that the Dolphins run was started by Ron Earhart, who was the offensive coordinator there.
Number 61, offense. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And he worked with Chan Gailey in Pittsburgh, so Chan Gailey comes here to Miami, so they know the running plays. They know that the Dolphins, Chan Gailey likes screens, and also something else that you almost see every week from the Miami Dolphins. Somewhere along the line, you're going to see a reverse.
Tim Ruddy was telling us on Friday he's several pounds lighter this year. The new scheme that they're playing on offense means more movement, and it helps him to be lighter. 5 wide receivers on 1st and 20. Heward deep down the center, intercepted. Chris Hayes picks it off at the 48-yard line of the Jets. So one turnover follows another, and the New York Jets regain control of the football. 7:16 to play in the first half. The Jets lead it by 3. Line, Curtis Martin, Richie Anderson in the backfield behind Vinny Testaverde, and the pitch for Martin to the left side. He may have gotten a yard on the play, and let's go back to Chris Hayes' first career interception.
Well, let's take a look and see how it happened, Greg. Here's Chris Hayes. Here's Tony Martin going to go up the field. And look, there's nobody coming up the field to really make Chris Hayes stay over there. Damon Heward, you just cannot throw it down the middle of the field that deep and that soft. That is trouble. And look at him. He's excited on the sideline.
Well, so was the head coach, too. Al Groh, you betcha, looking for some improved play on his defense. 5 wide receivers for the Jets. That's Martin now into motion behind Testaverde. The fake the handoff to him, and the pitch out here is incomplete, intended for Anthony Beck.
You know what? That was a really good design play. 5 wide receivers. Curtis Martin goes in the backfield. They fake a run. They're going to throw a screen backside, but Miami all over it. 2 defenders, Derek Rogers and a defensive lineman over there. waiting to make the tackle if Anthony Beck, the tight end, makes the catch.
So it'll be 3rd and 9.
You know, the Dolphins have faced this offense so much and seen so many of these plays over the last couple years. They're not fooled as much by all the window dressing the Jets put on.
Testaverde with time, now pulls it down and goes down. Trace Armstrong.
Well, Greg, as you watch that, now you know why Al Groh was so excited after the interception, because you can see this Miami defense, what it does. There is nobody open down the field, and Trace Armstrong just keeps fighting, and that's why he gets the sack. The secondary covered everybody. If Testaverde would have thrown the ball, it would have been intercepted.
That's just the 10th sack allowed by the Jets this year and the first in their last 3 games. Jeff Ogden deep. Tupa booms it out of there. It'll bounce inside the 5 and into the end zone for the touchback. When we come back, it'll be Miami. First down from their own 20-yard line. They trail by 3. As you look at Lamar Smith, we remind you to log on to NFL.com for an in-depth profile of that same man who's enjoying one of his best NFL seasons, only on NFL.com. Autry Denson in the backfield behind Heward on first down. And Heward throw. Quick pass, incomplete, and batted away on a fine defensive play by number 54, Dwayne Gordon.
Now, Greg, last night we had a really interesting conversation. We're talking to Al Groh, and we were talking about the Miami defense, and we'll tell you what he said about them a little later, but I said a lot of questions about the Jet defense. Why isn't it playing well? You know, they got to start taking, being more aggressive, things like that. And he goes, well, if you're the other team's offense and you look at our defense, is there anybody over there you got to say, how are we going to deal with that guy? And he says, we only got one guy in defense that you really got to worry about right now, and that's number 57, Mo Lewis.
This is Autry Denson trying to find running room. Penalty marker is down as Denson crosses the 20, about the 21-yard line. Mo Lewis, one and the same, along with James Ferrier converging, and this is a holding call on the Dolphins.
And, telling you that little bit, and as he tells us, you need like 3 defensive players to be outstanding for you.
Holding. Number 82, offense. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Well, Jed Weaver's not having a sterling afternoon so far for Dave Wanstead.
But to continue that thought, the Jets did have a guy that John Abraham, before he got hurt as a rookie, was going to be one of those guys. And also, number 31, Aaron Glenn, you would hope in the defensive secondary that he would have the capabilities of just shutting out receivers from the other side. That has just not been that just hasn't happened so far this year. But what's good for the Jets today? Look at the Miami Dolphins offense. Now, who over there just puts right into you? Nobody.
No one.
So it's a good matchup today for the New York Jets defense.
J.J. Johnson is in the lineup on 2nd and 20. Heward, deep drop, throws, complete, and not for very much. Johnson over the middle for a gain of 4, and it'll be 3rd and 16. Number 55, Marvin Jones, with the hit. And penalty yards equip your total offense.
Well, that's right. It means you're not going to score a lot of points, I would think, but you can hear the crowd unrest. They're getting a little anxious. They want to see some plays. Now, Damon here at the quarterback, I know he's smarter than this. I'm just saying, don't listen to the crowd. Know what your football team is about and play accordingly. Don't take chances. Keep it close and try to win it later.
Heward needs the 30-yard line for a first down. On 3rd down, pass over the middle. Wide open receiver is Gadsden. Gadsden with a first down and more across the 40 to the 42-yard line. And a big gainer for the Miami Dolphins.
Well, it's 3rd and long. The New York Jets trying to make a big play, make the quarterback make a mistake. Watch J.J. Johnson, top of your screen. There comes Ray Mickens on a blitz. He picks it up. Now that just means there's one less person for the Jets in the secondary. That's why Rondé Gadsden was wide open. Look at the middle of the field. Brian Cox goes across the field with the first crossing route, and nobody is there for Gadsden.
Gadsden makes his first catch of the day, and it is a big one. First down to the 42-yard line now. Ewart slips down, picks himself up, and looks and throws it away.
That's a nice job. It's like he went into the hole, deep into the hole at shortstop, came up and made the throw. But I would think Damon Hewitt, as this game goes along, even that last, he stepped on the foot that time.
Of J.J. Johnson.
J.J. Johnson. That's even good. Last year, the one thing I thought Damon Hewitt did maybe a little too much, ran around and just took way too many sacks. Today, he's very cognizant of getting rid of the football when he's in trouble.
2nd and 10 from the 43. Keep it on the ground this time. And Johnson across the 45 to the 46-yard line. You know, to go back to that New York Jet defense and Al Groh's philosophy, he acknowledged, you know, when he lost John Abraham, there was a significant loss because we lost rushing the quarterback, especially in the fourth quarter.
Well, what we say earlier, we were talking about when Testaverde got his interception, hitting the quarterback. That's what it's about. Hit the guy with the football. And you look at the last 4 games for the New York Jets, the statistics are just overwhelming. Quarterback sacks, 19-4. Total yards, everything. Drastic change, and that's why they've struggled so much.
Another big 3rd down play for Damon Hewitt. Steps up, throws over the middle, complete inside the 40. O.J. McDuffie, first down, Miami Dolphins.
Well, that's just a nice job by Damon Hewitt. The Jets are all over the quarterback. Watch him this time as he drops back. He looks at the first 2 receivers. They're not open. And then he finds Gaston going across the field. O.J. McDuffie.
Little juggling act by O.J. McDuffie.
Tony Scott was on the coverage, but when it takes that long and you let a receiver run that far across the field, usually they're going to come open.
J.J. Johnson carries for a couple. Clock continues to move as we're under 2.5 minutes here in the first half. Lamar Smith still sitting on the sideline, and we are told he is bothered by a little bit of a hamstring pull, so he'll be in and out all day today. And we wind our way down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll be right back. 2 minutes from halftime, and then the NASDAQ.com halftime report comes your way from New York. Jim Nantz, Mike Ditka, Randy Cross with all the scores and highlights on the NASDAQ.com halftime report. The ball at the Jet 39-yard line, or make it the 34-yard line. Dolphins' deepest penetration of the day. Autry Denson inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line as the clock continues to move.
Well, the one thing you'd like to do, the Miami Dolphins, you'd like to get a first down here. Use the clock, drive it down as much as you can. So whatever you do, if it's kick a field goal or when you get rid of the football, not to give the Jets a lot of time to go down the field to score when they get it back.
Phil, the Dolphins came into this game averaging 132.5 yards a game rushing. They have 35 so far here in the first half. From the shotgun, Ewart deep down the sideline. It is incomplete, intended for Leslie Shepard, number 84. Ray Mickens was with him down the sideline.
Well, Ray Mickens, I think in the past years, not as good this year, has been one of the better 3rd down defensive backs in the league. Has to play usually the inside receiver. This time it's Leslie Shepard. That is almost always the toughest position to defend on 3rd downs. That time he did a terrific job.
One of the most accurate kickers in the NFL, Olindo Mare, who has made 27 of his last 29, will attempt this one from 47 yards out. The kick is up. It's long enough, and it's straight enough. Olindo Mare pulls the Dolphins even at 3-3. 1:08 to play. Set here in Florida. We remind you our aerial coverage of today's game is being provided by Monster.com. Mare set to kick it away for the Dolphins. Dwight Stone and Lavernius Coles are deep. This will be Coles from the 2. Plenty of speed, no place to go. He's out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So Testaverde, with 1 minute and 3 seconds and all of his timeouts, comes back onto the field.
You know, last night we got a chance to talk to Vinny Testaverde, and as quarterbacks, you always watch film, and you try to decide what's strong and what's good about the defense, and you evaluate. And Testaverde said the last time he played the Dolphins defense, he remembers thinking, wow, they're a lot better in person than they were on film. So that tells you what he thinks of their ability to rush the passer and cover wide receivers.
The Jets go with 5 wide. And Testaverde straight up the middle. The 35 to the 38-yard line and a first down. Vinny Testaverde came into this game with 17 yards on 17 carries and picked up 15 right there.
Boy, that was a nice job, and they must have worked on it this week and had seen the opportunity to do it. They took advantage of it.
Now from the shotgun, Testaverde over the middle, incomplete, intended for Corbett. That stops the clock with 39 seconds to play.
Now that's the one thing I've seen the Dolphins today are not going to let the Jets run those short passes or those crossing routes in front. They got an extra defender inside trying to stop it. There's Jim Bates, and Testaverde even told us we got to move the receivers, have them go across the field, because that's really the only way you can get open.
On 2nd and 10, we'll pass to Anderson. Anderson across midfield to the 40, to the 30. Anderson to a 26-yard line, the 27, brought down by Bachmarian, and it's a timeout with 28 seconds to play. Richie Anderson has a big change of position on the field. We'll be back. Anderson had a terrific outing a month ago in the first game between these two teams this season. 12 receptions for 109 yards. He's got 2 for 40 yards today, including that one for 35. Curtis Martin, running room, 15, forward to about the 12-yard line, and the whistle blows. And timeout is called with 19 seconds to play. 15-yard pickup, and the Jets get closer to pay dirt. Vinny Testaverde back onto the field, or Ray Lucas comes onto the field as well.
Well, that'll make the defense think a little.
Ray Lucas, the number 2 quarterback, played extensively in Testaverde's absence due to the Achilles injury last year. And Lucas is flanked to the top of the screen.
And Marcus Coleman is at the bottom of the screen. He's one of the corners for the New York Jets.
On first down, the lob for Lucas. Lucas is being held up and the marker flies. Terrence Shaw was the defender.
Well, I think we can safely say no other team in the league is going to line up with their backup quarterback and a starting corner as wide receivers in the game this year.
Pass interference. Number 22, defense. Penalized at the spot of the foul. And a first down.
Here it is, Ray Lucas up the top. Now the reason why the Jets must do this, they just like his size and the fact that they think the defense is going to be aggressive and he's going to go up over the top and make the catch. And look at Ray Lucas.
And Lucas again flanked to the top of the screen, Coleman to the bottom. Dolphins' 7th penalty, 3 pass interference calls in this half. Testaverde going to throw it for Coleman. This side, jump ball, incomplete.
This is on Marcus Coleman. Penalty flag comes down.
Sam Madison was defending.
That's what they were looking to do the first play to Ray Lucas. It really wasn't there, even though they got the interference call.
Pass interference. 42, offense. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Marcus Coleman gave a little push-off, gets his hands on Sam Madison. There, it just runs into him, pushes him out of the way. If Testaverde would just wait a little longer and then not throw the football so high, I think Marcus Coleman could go out there and out-jump Sam Madison for the ball.
We are down to 9 seconds on the clock. This is a 1st and goal. Testaverde throws the slant incomplete inside the 10-yard line, intended for Anthony Beck. 5 seconds on the clock. And we saw Al Groh saying he wants to take his 3rd and final timeout right here. Patrick Surtain was covering on Beck.
Well, they're trying to get everybody to think, Testaverde, we're going to go deep, fakes the draw, the old jump up and throw it. But Patrick Surtain, one of the good cover corners in the National Football League, that's an easy matchup for him against Anthony Beck, the tight end.
So John Hall will try to close out this half with some points on the board for the New York Jets. Well, if nothing else, it's quite a bit different than the first game was between these two teams.
Well, you know, Greg, not surprising, though. I thought this game would be played very close. I didn't think the Jets could come out and take advantage of the Dolphin defense like it did in the 4th quarter. We had a chance to watch the game, and even talking to Al Groh, if you watched the game the last time, and you, as the coaches look at it, the Dolphins dominated them physically for 3 quarters. Then the hurry-up offense came out, and the Jets just started making plays. Testaverde made great throws, and there were some terrific catches.
This will be a 33-yard attempt by John Hall. The kick is away, and it is good. Time expires here in the first half. Testaverde and the Jets with a drive that culminates in a John Hall field goal, and that's what it's been here in the first half. A field goal contest, and let's go down to Armin Katayan.
Coach, you lost your starting quarterback, and it looks like your top running back is out. How is that affecting the dynamic of this game for you?
Well, it's affecting, you know, an awful lot. But if you put that aside, I mean, we're committing too many penalties. I mean, that's been the difference in the game. We got to get that cleared up, at halftime. We'll get zeroed in on what plays we can run most effectively with Damon, and between James Johnson and Autry Denson, we got to find a way to get it done.
All right, Coach, thank you. Greg?
7 penalties in all in the first half. Our halftime score, 6-3. Jets lead the Dolphins. Coming up.
The other thing, this is a big field position team we're playing, and I thought the offense and defense and teams combined to give us good field position. Now what we got to do is we got to be a better team coming on the field than the one that left.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
All right, Armin. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. 7 turnovers in the first meeting between these two teams. There have been 3 already today in this game. What do we look for in the second half?
Well, we could bring Al Groh up here in the booth because he explained it very well, Greg. I think it's a game of chicken. Who is going to crack first? In other words, if I was the coach or quarterback for either one of these teams, I would play it very close to the vest, very conservative, and see if my defense can make a play to give us an edge and then play from there.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that Al Groh has been talking about his defense and looking for them to step up, and it did just that in the first half.
Well, again, this was a good matchup for the Jets defense playing Miami's offense. There's nobody on that offense that scares you, so you can be aggressive and try to make plays to help your team.
Jets received the kickoff. Lavernius Coles from the 3-yard line. And tripped up as he crossed the 15. He falls forward to about the 18-yard line. Tommy Hendricks, the rookie out of Michigan, making the hit for the Miami Dolphins. Look at some halftime numbers.
And in this league, you know, you almost have to laugh that everybody's scoring so many points. We talk so much about offenses in the league, and look at the total yards. 110 for the Dolphins and 107 for the New York Jets.
Oh, we talked about that hit, Phil, and Lavernius Coles is still down on the field. The rookie out of Florida State and the Jets' 3rd-round draft choice. Let's take another look.
Boy, right to the shoulder pad, the helmet, right to the knee. But I do not know what is bothering them. Well, they're looking at his left knee.
Yeah, Lavernius Coles is a young man who has been blossoming as a Jets wide receiver. 21 catches for 354 yards and a touchdown coming in. And Vinny Testaverde had been saying over the last several weeks how well he had been developing, and all he needed was playing time.
Well, he has all the attributes to be a big-time receiver, but it's going to hurt the Jets offense with him out.
We'll take a quick timeout and come back and check on Lavernius Coles in just a moment. Coles walked off the field, but he's laying on a stretcher on the sideline as they continue to work on him and talk to him. And it's his left leg that goes flying and hits one of the Dolphins. So we'll keep track of Coles. Meanwhile, with Coles out, the Jets are down to Dedrick Ward, Wayne Corbett, Dwight Stone, and Windrell Hayes as wide receivers, although Curtis Martin in the spread formation is another wide receiver. There are 5 wide now for the Jets. Testaverde throws deep, incomplete, overthrows the rookie Windrell Hayes, and a marker flies. Dave Wanstead is saying that that ball was uncatchable. And it's against the Jets.
I was getting ready to say, Greg, I didn't see anything where it could be called against the Miami Dolphins defensive back. I think it was Patrick Surtain.
Pass interference, 86, offense.
So the call is against Windrell Hayes, the rookie out of Southern Cal.
And I got to say this, as soon as I saw the Jets line up in 5 wide receivers, I don't like that philosophy. In other words, I would play it a little conservative, try to keep Curtis Martin, run the football, and look for somebody to make a play to get my offense going and not try to force the issue too much, because the pass rush, and they are covering these Jet receivers, they are not even getting close to getting open as they run down the field.
1st and 19. On the ground. Martin, left side. Tackled at the 13-yard line by Brian Walker.
You know, you got to learn, and when you get in games like this Jet offense is used to dictating everything to the defenses they play. Today, you just got to take your medicine and try to play some field position.
So now, quickly to the line again, Testaverde. And now the Dolphins call timeout before the snap. So the Jets catching Miami's defense a little bit by surprise, and the Dolphins burn a timeout to stop the action here. And let's go back to the interference call.
Well, here it goes. Windrell Hayes, you see him stick the arm out against Patrick Surtain, and that was pass interference. Pushing off.
You know, if the ball is uncatchable, that doesn't work both ways, does it?
And that was definitely one of those that wasn't catchable, Greg. But the Dolphins called timeout. That was something that the Jets went with the hurry-up offense, did not huddle, and they caught the Dolphins by surprise.
Now, you asked Al Groh last night specifically if we would see that, but you thought perhaps early on, and he said no, he didn't think so.
Yeah, so he was, you know, see, just can't trust anybody.
Well, he said early on.
Yeah, he was right. Early on they didn't, but, you know, you go in halftime and you talk about, look at Testaverde, he's 4 for 10 for 51 yards in the game. And if it wasn't for the screenplay right before half, they've done nothing in the passing department. So you're looking to generate some offense. The Jets feel like 5 wide receivers, maybe hurry it up. Those are the things that can help them.
4 completions for Testaverde, only 1 to Dedrick Ward, a wide receiver. On 2nd and 15, Martin weaving his way to about the 19-yard line. Although the ball popped loose, officials blew it down. Pick up a 5, it'll be 3rd and 10.
Actually, I think the Jets, even though the stats don't bear it out, have had a little success running the football up in there today. Getting a few yards each time, nothing really big, but it's keeping the 3rd down situations for them controllable, where Testaverde will not have to hold the football too long to pick up a receiver down the field.
Now the crowd comes into play for the Miami defense. Testaverde needs the 29-yard line for a 1st down. Over the middle, incomplete. Penalty marker down. Corbett, the intended receiver. And this is another interference call against the Jets.
It tells you a lot about the Dolphins defense.
Pass interference, number 80, offense. Penalties decline, 4th down.
It's just human nature, Greg. Wayne Corbett against Patrick Surtain. This is what the Dolphins wanted to do. You could see Wayne Corbett extend both of his arms into the body of the defensive back, and they're going to see that and call it.
And Corbett, guilty of the push-off. Ogden is deep to receive the punt. Tupa's driving kick. Ogden at the 31. And dropped at the 39-yard line. 50-yard punt, 9-yard return. Miami on offense when we come back. Along with Phil Simms and Armin Katayan, Greg Gumbel, the Miami Dolphins, with their best field position of the day, start from their own 39-yard line. And Damon Heward, the quarterback, Jay Fiedler, will not return, we are told by the Dolphins. And J.J. Johnson on the ground, spinning at the 42 and falls forward to about the 43-yard line. Pick up a 5, it'll be 2nd and 5. And now maybe the approach to this game kind of changes on both coaches' part, Phil.
Well, we saw the Jets change a little bit. I know one thing. Dave Wannstedt, he's not going to change. He has built this team. He set around last year. He got a chance to overlook the players, the assistant coaches, and even the head coach, and he knows what is good for this football team, and that means be conservative, do what you believe in.
Johnson,
even though the crowd might boo every once in a while.
But we mentioned to him that, you know, he is actually doing what Jimmy Johnson always wanted to do in his years here in Miami, and that's run the football. But the problem that Jimmy Johnson had was he had Dan Marino as his quarterback.
Well, he had that candy in the backfield. You know, Dan Marino, now that's not the case here anymore, and it's easily was for Jay Fiedler and now Damon Heward to not worry about the ego and just do what the coaches and the team ask you to do.
45-yard line, 3rd and 4. Heward throws to Johnson out of the backfield. Johnson diving for the first down marker, appears to be about a yard or maybe a half a yard shy. Dorian Boose making the stop, and they'll kick it away. That rushing offense for Miami, 29th in 97, then 24th, 22nd, and now the 7th best.
And the 7th, Greg, that's just because they're just going to keep running. They might run it 35 times for 100 yards, but they're just going to keep doing it. And they, of course, why can they do it? Because their defense at times can be dominating.
Turk, sky high. And Hedrick Ward with the fair catch at the 22-yard line. 30-yard punt is all Matt Turk gets out of his right foot. On CBS. 5 wide receivers for the Jets. First down from their own 22-yard line. Testaverde has it batted down. Number 95, Tim Bowens, one of those 2 big defensive tackles. And on the sideline, Curtis Martin behind that bevy of players. And Vinny and the Jets go to the hurry-up.
It's a good thing that last pass was knocked down. It was going to be intercepted.
Pass out here, incomplete. Nobody there. And Kevin Mawai doing a little talking on the field.
Greg, besides the screen play that we saw before the half, you just get the feeling this Miami Dolphins defense has got the rhythm of the Jets offense with the play calling, and physically, they are physically beating them almost every single snap now.
Well, we saw Lavernius Cole being worked on the sideline, Curtis Martin as well. The Dolphins have lost Jeff Ogden to a bruised shoulder. His return is doubtful. 3rd and 10 for the Jets. Testaverde rolls, throws. It is complete to Hayes, and no, incomplete now. Hayes appeared to have it for a moment. Testaverde just one of his last 9 throwing.
Well, here's what it takes. It takes perfect timing by Testaverde and almost perfect throws for these balls to be completed. And Terrence Shaw knocks the arms of Wendell Hayes, hits him. That's just enough to knock the football out of his hands.
Leslie Shepard is deep for the punt from Tupa. For the second time this half, the Jets go 3 and out.
I did not like the play selection again from the Jets. Be more conservative. Wait for the plays. Don't try so much to make them.
From the 28-yard line, Shepard across the 40 to the 43. 50-yard kick and a 16-yard return, and Damon Heward will come back onto the field after this. 10:46 to play in the third quarter. A moment ago, Curtis Martin of the Jets trotting off the field to the locker room. We are told he took a hit in the back, but he should return. Meanwhile, Damon Heward, 8 out of 13 for 79 yards, and he's been picked off once. Johnson and Conrad in the backfield, and Heward to throw. Batted down, incomplete. James Ferrier, who has played a terrific game. There's Damon Heward. He is in because on the very first offensive play today, Jay Fiedler, the Dolphins quarterback, took this hit and suffered a pinched nerve in his neck. He has not returned and will not for the rest of the game, and so it will be in the hands of Damon Heward the rest of the way for Miami. Now, the last series for the Dolphins started from their own 39-yard line, this one from the 44, and it's quickly becoming a game of field position. Play fake, the pass, incomplete, intended for Denson out of the backfield.
Boy, look at that. Fake the run, fake a reverse, all to throw a screen play, and even if you complete it to Denson, he's going nowhere because the Jets, it's like a mirror image of these teams. They know the screens and the draw plays are a big part of the other team's offense, and Rick Lyle, number 95, he was right behind Autry Denson there to make the tackle, even if he caught it.
Wannstedt looking for some answers on third down. Heward steps up, throws, tipped, and incomplete. Oronde Gadsden, the intended receiver, couldn't connect with him, and again, Turk comes onto the field to punt it away.
Well, that's, you know, the Jets or the Dolphins, they're both, the defenses are looking for that play to turn the game around. And this time, watch, here comes Gadsden all the way across the field. Ball gets kicked up in the air over the middle. That's usually trouble, but that time nobody able to make the catch.
We have yet to see a first down in this half. Both teams have gone 3 and out twice. Turk, another poor kick, bouncing at about the 30-yard line and out of bounds just short of the 20-yard line. And Turk shakes his head and comes off the field after a second consecutive 30-yard punt. Tonight on CBS, for nearly 50 years, Hallmark Hall of Fame has brought you the most unforgettable television events. Tonight, Academy Award winner Mercedes Ruehl stars in Hallmark Hall of Fame's The Lost Child. That's coming your way tonight here on CBS.
Well, Greg, when you're playing field position, your punter is so important to the makeup of your team and for you to have success. And you're right, 2 bad punts by Turk in the second half, and it's really helped the Jets. The Jets, you would think they would be getting this football probably inside the 10. Here they are in the 27-yard line.
And again, they go with the spread formation on first down. Quick drop, Testaverde lofts it deep down the sideline and overthrows Richie Anderson coming out of the backfield. Derek Rogers was right there with him. And, you know, you mentioned something during the last timeout. There are no receivers open on the field for the Jets.
No, you know what it looks like now? The Jets have just come down to this. They're going to spread it out, and they're just hoping somebody can make a play. That time, throw it down the sidelines, and sooner or later, even with perfect coverage, a lot of times we see it so much in this league nowadays, the receiver just goes up and makes the play because no separation for the receivers against the defensive backs and just nowhere for Vinny Testaverde to throw the football.
Testaverde has not completed a pass in this half. Coming this way is Anderson, and Anderson is pulled down from behind by Kenny Mixon, number 79.
Well, we talked about it early in the game where Al Grove said to us, how do you deal with, and he was talking about his defense, and we talk about to turn that over and go about Miami's defense. Watch Kenny Mixon, 79, just force and just ruin the play. The Dolphins have 4 or 5 defensive players that an offense has to look at and go, we got to make sure we take care of this guy.
You saw Mixon fight off Kevin Mawai. That's a Pro Bowl center he fought off to make the play. 3rd and 11. Testaverde pulls it down, throws complete to Anderson, and that one's buried at the 24-yard line. Jerry Wilson comes up from the secondary, and it's a 2-yard loss. So what do we see again? The field position here should even improve more for the Dolphins.
Boy, it's almost getting down to, as you look, Greg, this is 5 possessions in the second half. We still got 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's like a good series is if you just don't turn it over.
And no first downs.
Just don't make a mistake.
Shepard at his own 30-yard line. Tupa, a low kick. Bounces, takes a jet bounce, rolls out of bounds at the 31-yard line. 6-3 Jets. 8:39 to play, and it's been that kind of a day. That's Lavernius Coles. Doesn't look like he's ready to play. Curtis Martin in the locker room undergoing x-rays on his back. First down, and Damon Heward with the handoff. Out across the 35 is J.J. Johnson. With Lamar Smith having his problems today, J.J. Johnson has stepped up and was a little bit upset about being relegated to 3rd down back, but is trying to carry the ball for Dave Wanstead here tonight. This has not been a very productive half for either team. This is what's happened so far in the second half.
Jets minus 2 yards so far, 3 possessions. Dolphins 9 total yards in 2 possessions.
And now Heward calls timeout. Saw something he disagreed with, and on 2nd and 5 and 8:02 to play in the third quarter, he uses Miami's 2nd timeout in this half. While we have a moment, Monday on CBS, when Florence Henderson cooks Thanksgiving dinner for the King of Queens, well, let's just say it ain't the Brady Bunch. Kevin James stars in an all-new King of Queens Monday on CBS. As competitive as Kevin James is, you don't want to fight him for the turkey at the table.
It looks like he's won quite a few of those fights at the table too, Greg. Not saying he's heavy. He just got that, what do they call that thing in front? It's called a party ball. His is working well. But you know, you look at timeouts. Miami now with 1 timeout. Timeouts in the first half, we were always taught, or I was always taught, use them when you need them. In the second half, you go through whatever great lengths, whatever you have to do to make sure you don't use those timeouts in case you need them on the last drive or 2 of the game to give you a chance to win.
2nd and 5, the pitch to Johnson. Johnson to the 40-yard line.
Well, J.J. Johnson, you said it, Greg, Lamar Smith out. He's a first-round draft pick from Mississippi State, and now he's getting a chance to carry the ball some, and also Thurman Thomas went down last week. So this week, J.J. Johnson had to take all the 3rd down responsibilities, and that is a big responsibility in the NFL. 3rd downs, to be the back there with the quarterback. You got to pick up blitzes. You got to catch passes. It's a valuable position, and so far today he's done a good job at both.
50 yards rushing today. J.J. has 20 of them on 6 carries. A 3rd and 1. Breaking to the outside. First down and more for Johnson. Midfield 45. Chris Hayes makes the stop, but not until the line of scrimmage becomes the Jets' 44-yard line.
Well, let's take a look from the cam. A lot of times on 3rd and short, watch it. Going to go up inside. Marvin Jones shoots the gap, doesn't make the tackle. But on short yardage plays, let's see Robert Conrad, the fullback. He's going to go through. Nice block. Oh, yeah, really good block. But a defense is so intent on going inside and stopping the short run, the runner takes it outside and gets a big gain.
First down now in Jet territory. Play fake. Heward throws far sideline, has a man open, that's complete and out of bounds to Aronde Gadsden. 13 yards, and that's another first down.
That's a nice throw and good execution by Damon Heward. But I'll tell you what, there's two defenders over here to cover Oronde Gadsden. Marcus Coleman had help deep. He should have been all over this. And you can see by the wobble of the football that the pass actually got away from Damon Heward. Watch Marcus Coleman. Oh, he looks back, gets caught. Oronde Gadsden turns around, gives up an easy completion.
From the 31, Heward on the roll. Throw this side, incomplete. Missed connections with Leslie Shepard on the near sideline, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, at least you can see the Dolphins, they're getting at least an opportunity to execute an offense, where the Jets so far this half, they have had no chance to execute their offense. Miami's defense just overrunning them.
You saw Dave Wannstedt there, and we talked about what a tremendous comeback the Jets made in the first meeting between these two teams, and we asked Wannstedt on Friday about it. He said, you know, I haven't yet talked to the team about that first game against the Jets.
You know, he didn't dwell on it. He gave them some extra time off because it's a Monday night game. They came in and had a good victory against the Green Bay Packers.
Heward takes too much time and is decked in the backfield by Mo Lewis, who started this game with a sack on Jay Fiedler and knocked him out of the game. Loss of 4, and it'll be 3rd and 14.
Well, Marcus Coleman covered his receiver. Look at Mo Lewis going against J.J. Johnson, and you just can't block a guy like Mo Lewis like that. But here's where Jay Fiedler was looking at. Marcus Coleman knocks him down. That's why he took the sack.
Second sack of the day for Mo Lewis, and it'll be 3rd and 14.
Could have taken him out of field goal position.
From the shotgun, Heward down again, this time at the 43-yard line. Number 92, Sean Ellis, the rookie out of Tennessee, with his 6th sack of the season.
Another big play by the Jets defense. Any short gain here is going to 92, Sean Ellis. Oh, he's blocked by John Wade, and he just keeps working. The coverage down the field allows the sack.
Todd Wade, the rookie right tackle, Dave Wannstedt has been so high on, and rightfully so, but he couldn't handle Sean Ellis on that.
Well, he did a good job. The coverage down the field made the quarterback hold the football.
Fair catch is called for and made by Dedrick Ward at the 14-yard line with a 27-yard punt by Turk. Has the Jets inside their own 15-yard line. What's at stake here tonight? Oh, Miami with an 8-2 lead in the AFC East. A Jets victory would pull them even with Indianapolis and Buffalo at a game behind.
Well, if the Jets found a way to win this game today, it's hard to believe. I look up the scoreboard. I got to retest myself here. The Jets are leading 6-3. But if they could win the game, and all the AFCs, they have to play each other down the stretch. It's just going to, anybody could still win it, of course.
With Curtis Martin out, Bernie Parmalee is the lone back behind Testaverde. He's going to throw this side. Anthony Beck batted out of bounds at the 20-yard line by Brian Walker. Boy, what a game Brian Walker has played today. The 5th-year safety out of Washington State. Mentioned earlier, Walker, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, off of his effort in the victory over San Diego last week. And he has done more of the same here today. 2nd and 4. Testaverde, quick pass to the other side. Trebek out to the 30-yard line, and that'll be enough for a first down.
See, this is much better what the New York Jets are doing now. They got their normal offense in there, and you'll see Wayne Corbett has a chance to get open here. Look, there's still a threat of a run. Patrick Surtain, zone coverage, doesn't follow Wayne Corbett. That allows Testaverde just a little room to throw the football in there. But using this style of offense, their options are greater. And when you give the defense more options, of course, it gives you a better chance of getting people open.
That's Wayne Corbett's first reception of the day. It was good for 10 yards. Beck in motion. They'll go on the ground. This time Parmalee with running room across the 40 to the 42-yard line and another first down.
Well, the Jets have come out, throw, and all of a sudden they're mixing up. Look what it looks like from up, Cam.
Boy, and Kenny Mixon comes over to make that stop.
You know, I'd like to see you put that hat on, Greg. Get down there, a little ump cam. It'd be we'd have some great end zone shots because you would be retreating to the end zone every time, trying to get out of the way of the contact.
I can see just fine from up here. Thank you. First down.
What is that?
From the 41. Testaverde going to lob this one for Corbett. He has it and out of bounds at the 47-yard line of the Dolphins. The 12-yard pass to Corbett. You may recall Corbett made a reception in the first half, but the Jets took a penalty that was called.
Well, Wayne Corbett, you know, his nickname is the Green Lantern. Look at this. The last 4 games, he has been a big part of this Jets offense.
Appears to be lighting it up here with a 10 and now a 12-yard reception. Anderson in motion. Testaverde, quick pass back to the 45. That'll be about a 2-yard pickup. And again, Brian Walker makes the stop. Remember, this Miami defense is playing minus Zach Thomas, who has a severe right ankle sprain. He's missed the last 3 straight games and 4 in all this year.
Yeah, I saw him over there at practice Friday running around trying to test his ankle out, and I can't imagine that he would be ready even for next week's game. It looks like that ankle sprain, it's a high ankle sprain. They take a long time to heal.
Testaverde on 2nd and 8. Quick drop, quick throw, complete to Anderson to the 40. And that came very close to being picked off. It's a 5-yard gain.
Well, this is a good shot. Sam Madison, number 29, is one of these corners who, of course, can cover wide receivers very well, but he likes to look back at the quarterback. Look at this. If he would have looked just a second quicker, he would have come in and taken that football away from Richie Anderson. He let his receiver go and tried to go in and make the play.
Well, Testaverde started out this half very, very cold, but he is now 5 out of 5 for 35 yards on this drive. Throws to the far side. Nice catch by Parmalee, and it's a first down. Bernie Parmalee spent 7 years in a Miami Dolphins uniform. This is his 2nd year with the Jets, and he just burned his former mates here with a fine catch.
Oh, it is, Greg. Back behind him, back shoulders, one hand, stick it up there. Those nice leather gloves, it just sticks right to him. But Bernie Parmalee, still a big part of the Jets special teams, does a good job on those. That's why he's on the team. But now coming in because Curtis Martin is hurt and doing a good job.
Only Parmalee's 3rd reception this season. First down. Parmalee made it back to the line of scrimmage. Trace Armstrong coming down the line to stop that for a no-gainer. Boy, Trace Armstrong, what a season he is having in his 12th year out of Florida.
Well, Trace Armstrong, just a lot of energy. Here he is at the top. Plays hard all the way through every play, and that's just another good example. He hustles. That's why he has the sacks, and that's why he's still in the league.
Trace Armstrong, a first-round pick of the Chicago Bears back in 1989. And time is winding down here in the 3rd quarter. We will not have another play before we change ends of the field. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Our score, the Jets 6, the Dolphins 3. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. Playing from behind this season. 103 minutes of winning time, 337 of losing. And tonight, they haven't been behind at all. They've been ahead almost 30 minutes of playing time. Testaverde throws, lobs it deep, incomplete. Pass intended for Dedrick Ward. He was double covered, and one of those was Sam Madison.
I know one thing. If I was a quarterback and I was playing the Miami Dolphins, you see this guy out there, number 29, I just wouldn't throw it his way. Because, look, the ball's in the air. He's not trying to defend the receivers anymore. When that football goes in the air, he goes after it, tries to make the play in the interception, and he's been very successful doing it.
The 10th play of a drive that began at the 14-yard line of the Jets. Testaverde throws. Richie Anderson out of the backfield, diving for a first down, and he appears to have it at the 22-yard line. Twan Russell made the stop.
That's just a good design by the New York Jets. Third, watch the tight end come down the field and break out. There's Richie Anderson, goes in the backfield. He's going to come out and go underneath him. You see the defenders? They both get caught covering the tight end because he comes up the field. They can't decide who has the tight end, who has the back, and when they finally figure it out, it's too late.
Richie Anderson, 5 receptions, 53 yards today. The pass for Corbett, far side, incomplete. Sam Madison was over there. And 14:07 to play in the fourth. Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, Greg, a quick update from Mile High Stadium. The Broncos on the board here for Rotten to Carswell, and they're still 10 down as San Diego's trying to get its first win of the season. Third quarter in Denver. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, Jim. 6-3 Jets in a drive that has now consumed almost 6 minutes. Second down and 10, and 5 wide receivers again. Testaverde going to lob it this side. It is incomplete. And is it intercepted?
He made the catch, I think.
This is Terrence Shaw, and Shaw stays in the end zone. You know, the official signaled touchdown at one point.
Greg, Terrence Shaw was beaten so bad on the play that he was just trying to get back in position to create a pass interference call. The football, not a real well-thrown football by Vinny Testaverde. It hangs up. What hustle by Shaw. The football comes down in his stomach, and he makes the interception. You can see the wobble on the football made it hang in the air. Dedrick Ward had him beat by 3 or 4 yards.
Shades of an overtime Monday night game at Green Bay between the Packers and the Vikings, and the bounce of the ball.
You're right.
But, you know, there was an official at the back end of the end zone who held his arms up and signaled touchdown.
Well, it looked like it was going to be an easy touchdown for the Jets. But what hustle by Terrence Shaw, a little desperation, and then he got lucky.
That's 5 straight games Testaverde has thrown 2 or more interceptions. First down from the 20-yard line. J.J. Johnson, right side, going for the first down marker, and appears to have enough for a Miami first down before Victor Green runs him out of bounds.
You know, sometimes, Greg, you know, turnovers, you just got to know where to throw. Watch Dedrick Ward down at the bottom against Terrence Shaw. Testaverde throws it maybe just a little too quick. The football is not well thrown. It hangs in the air, and that's just enough to give Terrence Shaw a chance to get back in the play, and he times it perfectly, putting his arm through Dedrick Ward's arm to get the interception.
First down from the 31 for Miami. Heward throws this side, Conrad out of the backfield, and is met by Mo Lewis.
Now that's, you know, again, to go back, that is a huge turnover. It's almost a gimme field goal, and the way things are going, 9-3 is not insurmountable, but it's a tough chore to ask any one of these offenses to go the length of the field and score a touchdown.
I was going to say, it might be in this game.
Yeah, it might be, is right.
Jets held the ball for 6 minutes and 3 seconds and got nothing out of it. Second down, the pitch to Benson. Left side, cuts it back and gets nothing. Just over the 35 to the 36, Marvin Jones with pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Well, the Miami Dolphins have done enough here. They got a first down. They got the football out. Even if you don't pick up the 3rd down, what they're going to do is change field position again, and then you got to hope the strong part of your team, the defense, can come out and get a hold of the New York Jet offense and not let it drive down the field again.
3rd and 5. The 41-yard line gets the Dolphins a first down. Heward has it batted in the air, falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down. Sean Ellis with another big play. The rookie who was the Jets' first-round choice, the 12th player selected overall.
Well, and he's had a good year too, Greg, for a first-round pick. A rookie playing interior defensive line. Such a tough spot to come in the NFL and learn to play and be productive, but he's done it. And, of course, when he had his partner with him, John Abraham, they were doing a terrific job until John Abraham went down.
Turk. Sky high. Ward with the catch at about the 27-yard line. 38-yard and no return. The interception by the Miami Dolphins, but they get nothing out of it. Jets ball. Our aerial coverage of today's game being provided by Monster.com. Welcome back. 11:47, plenty of time remaining. And the Jets with the football at their own 28-yard line.
Two things I would do if I were the Jets. I'd be very conservative. If I was a quarterback, really concentrate on not making a mistake, and don't throw towards Sam Madison.
Testaverde going to throw, and he flips, and that's incomplete out of the backfield, intended for Bernie Parmalee. And let's check in with Armin Katayan. Armin?
Thanks, Greg. A quick injury update on Curtis Martin. You know, just went in the locker room a few moments ago to get some x-rays. They've evidently revealed a strained back, and he will not be back in this game. Back to you.
That is a big loss for the New York Jets, because not only is it the basis of their ground game, but he is more than a capable wide receiver.
Well, he does a good job in both. You're right, Greg, but Bernie Parmalee has stepped in and done a nice job. Made a nice catch, got a first down for him, and he's run the football when they've given it to him very hard and picked up some good yards.
Second and 10. The pass out here is smothered. Completed Gerald Soule, and Derek Rogers was all over him shortly thereafter. No gain on the play.
Well, nice play fake by Testaverde, but again, the Dolphins, besides that last drive, it's almost been like a shutout today. They gave up a screenplay before half, and the Jets put together a nice deceptive drive the last time to get down and stealing it in a turnover, but the Dolphins just all over the offensive players.
I go back to what you said earlier. Vinny told us they look good on film. They look better in person on defense. On the draw, Parmalee to the 32-yard line. Darrell Gardner with the stop, and it'll be a punting situation for the Jets.
You know, Greg, and to that statement that they look so much better in person, almost always as an NFL player, it's the opposite. You come into a game and you go, I got a lot of respect for this guy across from me. And then when the real action starts, you go, man, I overestimated him. He's not as good as I thought, and I should have a good day. But the Dolphin defense, that's not the case.
Sixth time that Tupa will kick it away for the Jets today. Jeff Ogden is deep. Left the game with a bruised shoulder earlier. He is back in action and will pull this one in at the 16. Looking for running room. Penalty marker is down, and he is down at about the 17-yard line by Bradford Banta. And now let's check the flag.
Penalty flag on the play.
It will go against the Dolphins and back them up even further. We'll take a timeout and be right back. The view from the Sims yacht down here in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, that's right.
Dolphins start in a hole from their own 9-yard line, their worst field position of the day. J.J. Johnson, Rob Conrad in the backfield, and Johnson shakes off one tackler, gets across the 10 to about the 12-yard line for a gain of 3 on the play before Jason Ferguson makes the stop.
Yeah, that was Mo Lewis, so getting in the backfield again, just going right by whoever's blocking him and getting in the backfield and just giving. There's 57. Hunter Goodwin trying to block him from the outside. He hesitated. You hesitate against Mo Lewis. Too late. Stops the running play.
5 tackles on the day for Mo Lewis. 2nd and 7. We'll give it to Johnson again, and not much there for him. And we check in with Jim Nantz in New York. Jim?
Well, Greg, I want Phil Simms to take note. Check out Ryan Leaf. His 3rd touchdown pass of the day, 83-yard hookup to Jeff Graham. And the 3 touchdown passes matches all the number of touchdown passes he had in his career coming into the day. They've doubled up Denver. Let's go back to you.
Well, Phil, we said it earlier. There is nothing wrong with Ryan Leaf's arm.
And he's 6'6", and he plays bigger. And he just towers over the players who's on the field. So, well, good for him. Glad to see him have some success finally.
3rd and 7. Stewart from the shotgun, and whistle blows before the snap.
Movement by the Dolphins offense. You know, the Dolphins came out here. Let's listen to the call.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 80, offense. A 5-yard penalty.
It's Tony Martin.
Remains 3rd
at
down.
the wide receiver position, and Dave Wanstead shakes his head on the sideline.
I thought this series, though, the way the Jets play defense, if the Dolphins would have just tried to play action pass, there was going to be some big holes down the field, especially the middle, because the Jets, they came out and said, we're going to stop the run. And the Dolphins, well, they ran it up in there twice and basically got no yards.
9th penalty of this game on the Dolphins. Heward from his end zone. Throw that is tipped and intercepted. Tony Scott, number 27, picks it off inside the 30-yard line, and a golden opportunity for the New York Jets.
Well, you lose your patience. Damon Heward, I don't know what he's thinking. Getting a little impatient. The offense not doing well. There's still over 8 minutes to go in the game. You're down 6-3. But watch this throw. It's into heavy coverage. Aaron Glenn's going to make the play. It has to go over the head of Ray Mickens. That's it. 1 score. He's saying 1 score and the game is over.
Tony Scott makes his first career interception, gives the Jets the ball at the 27-yard line of the Dolphins. The pitch for Parmalee. Turns the corner. Out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Brock Marion ran him out. Now, we talked to Al Grove, and Al Grove, we said, well, you know, what has the problem been with your team? And he has everything down to a science, but he says we're not getting off the field fast enough due to not enough takeaways, and 3rd down performance is way off in the last 4 games. They've solved the takeaway problem, at least today.
And 3rd downs. They've done a good job on 3rd downs. Well, of course, Greg, the most important thing for any defense nowadays in the National Football League, 3rd down, because you can do so many different defenses, disguise, and just, you say, get off the field, give your offense a chance to come in and have some rhythm.
They'll keep it on the ground with Parmalee again. And Parmalee, looking for a 1st down, comes up about a yard shy.
But what did we say after halftime was over? It was almost like a game of chicken. And who could wait the longest before they just took a chance that they shouldn't have done? And this is the first time, I thought in the second half, Heward's throw, he took a chance that was just not warranted. You shouldn't have done that. Testaverde's interception was just not making a good throw and a great play by Shaw, but that interception by Damon Heward could be the difference in this ball game.
3rd and 1. The play clock is down to 5. David Laverne is out there. The give is to Parmalee. Straight ahead, 1st down and more. Touchdown. $18 yards for the score.
A couple of the best runs we've seen all day in this game from either team have come in 3rd and short situations. Look at this, the Jets. Everybody goes attack into the ball, and there's only one person, Brock Marion, who has a chance to stop Bernie Parmalee from scoring a touchdown.
Right tackle Ryan Young with a terrific block that appeared to knock off 2 of the Miami Dolphins and clear the way for Bernie Parmalee. John Hall's extra point attempt is perfect. 6:52 to play. The way this game is going, that's a lot of insurance on the board for the New York Jets. We'll be right back.
David Laverne, number 79. Since the commercial, he has been celebrated. Here he is at fullback, And Ryan Young, number 74, watch the blocks. 1, 2. Just knocks the linebackers back. Twan Russell had a chance to make the play. He couldn't do it because of the block of David Laverne at the fullback position.
Bernie Parmalay's first rushing touchdown since 1995. Autry Denson from the 3-yard line. The 20. Tripped up, falls forward to the 28-yard line. Dwayne Gordon with the special teams play. And let's remind you, the NFL on CBS kicks off the holiday season. Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots taking on Charlie Batch and the Detroit Lions at the Silverdome. It all begins with the NFL today, Thanksgiving Day, here on CBS Sports, where we hand out an Iron Man trophy.
And look at David Laverne. We told you. The commercial lasted 2 minutes. He's been over there celebrating the whole time. This guy is pumped up. Everybody congratulating him. They got the pictures of it over there. They're looking at it. He's going to have to autograph a few of them, I guess, and send them out.
Autry Denson in the backfield. With Heward to throw. Throws this side. That's complete to Conrad out of the backfield, and he's whacked down at the 28-yard line. Pick up a 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. James Ferrier with the tackle. Clock continues to move, coming up on 6:20 to play here in regulation.
Well, they got to get a little speed going with this offense. You only have 1 timeout, which is a big key for the Miami Dolphins. You need 2 scores.
Heward has it intercepted by Sean Ellis. Sean Ellis rose up and just snatched it out. Well, I don't know if he snatched it out of the air or whether it just burrowed right into his midsection.
He did both. It was snatching it out of the air. Watch Sean Ellis, number 92. He reads the drop of the quarterback. He knows it's going to be a quick throw, and he gets ready to jump and knock it down. Watch him. On the right. Oh, Greg, what a play. It hits him in the shoulder pads, but he wraps his arms around it. Nice catch. What an athlete.
So the rookie has a sack and an interception to his credit today. What a job of just holding on to the football.
Boy, it is. And Al Groh always said the fourth quarter, if you're going to be a consistent winner in the National Football League, your defensive front has got to apply pressure and make plays in the fourth quarter, and the Jets have done that again here today.
Line of scrimmage, the 25-yard line of the Dolphins. Parmalee, and now the give to Dwight Stone around the left side. Testaverde out there ostensibly as a blocker, although Vinny is still pretty much on his feet at the 5-yard line.
Well, you did what you were supposed to, Vinny. Get out of the way. That's a nice play call in this situation. What happens? You get a desperate defense. They're going to attack, and when the defenses get a little desperate, sometimes they lose containment. They do this time, and that's why Dwight Stone is able to pick up some good yards.
9-yard pickup to be exact, and it'll be 2nd and 1.
Well, the Dolphins, the previous 3 games, only 1 turnover. You know, everybody talks. We can win the game if we don't turn it over. But they always fail to mention why turnovers happen. It's because the defense plays a little harder. They get in better positions. They physically dominate who they're playing, and a lot of times that's what causes turnovers.
Pressure on the quarterback. Penalty marker is down.
You're right, Greg. A lot of those turnovers are always directed at how much pressure you're putting on the quarterback. Sacking him, he fumbles, or making him rush his throw. Bad decision, interception.
Face mask call. And that's against the Dolphins.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 29. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
We remind you, you can get live updates for each NFL game as it happens. Click on live scores at cbs.sportsline.com.
Well, that was Sam Madison. They were doing a little chicken fighting down in the corner. Him and Wayne Corbett.
Now that'll make you dizzy.
Well, yeah.
The faithful departing as we are under 5 minutes and the clock is running. And Ray Lucas in as a receiver. Oh, Lucas on the run with the football, lost the football. Did the Jets cover it, or is it the Dolphins? It's the Jets football. Brian Walker with the hit that forced the fumble.
Yeah, Vinny Testaverde lined up at wide receiver. He's just trying to get out of the way. Testaverde, wow, almost gets open in the back of the end zone. But Ray Lucas, protect the football.
In fact, let's listen to how it sounded. And Lucas fell on the football. It's like that right arm hanging a little limply. And he's going to protect it. The ball is at the 7.5-yard line. And it's 2nd and goal. Clock continues to move. Remember, Miami Dolphins with just one timeout remaining. Laverne and Parmalee again in the backfield. The bet in motion to give to Parmalee straight ahead, and not much there at all. It'll be no gain. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Al Groh telling Testaverde, of course, Vinny Testaverde knows the situation, 13-3. Take that play clock down to 1 second before you snap the football. You know, the New York Jets, they told us last night, now I didn't believe, Greg, that we have confidence against this Miami team. They know we've won 5 in a row, and we think they don't feel that confident playing us. Well, I don't know if that's the case, but the Jets have found a way to be in a good position late in the game.
Parmalee right side, touchdown. This has been some return to Miami for Bernie Parmalee.
He was released last year by the Miami Dolphins. The New York Jets picked him up mainly because he can play special teams and be such an impact player. But look what he's done today. Curtis Martin goes down, and he has really done a terrific job running the football.
Touchdown runs of 7 and 18 yards, and the kick is good. And with 3:12 to play here in the 4th quarter, the Jets have now jumped to a 20-3 lead over the Miami Dolphins and are poised to move to within a game of first place Miami.
IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
A fast emptying Pro Players Stadium with 3:12 to play here in the 4th quarter, and the Jets in charge by a score of 20-3. Autry Denson at his goal line. We'll take this one at the 3. To the 25 and forward for a couple of yards. How about the turnovers today, Phil?
Well, that's the story of the game, Greg. When you're a team like the Miami Dolphins, who like to play close to the best, they do not want to make these turnovers. 2 bad decisions by Damon Hewitt, I thought, throwing into coverage, and then just a terrific play by Sean Ellis to get the last interception.
Oh, the Jets with 14 points in the 4th quarter. In the 2 meetings between these teams, the Jets have outscored the Dolphins 44-7 in the 4th quarter. Hewitt over the middle, J.J. Johnson, and Johnson falling forward appears to have enough for a first down at the 40-yard line. Brian Cox makes the stop after an 11-yard pickup.
Well, there's what you say, Greg. Look at that, 44 4th quarter points in the 2 games, and the Jets really didn't show a lot of patience, I thought, early in the 2nd half, but settled down, and they just outweighted the Miami Dolphins.
A little flare to Leslie Shepard, and Shepard is out of bounds. And the clock is under the 2.5-minute mark.
And this is a new way for the Jets to win a game. You know, it's a different style. And I don't mean because it's not a last-second comeback victory. They just, the way they went about it, the defense, I thought that was the key. They've been terrific today. They had to come in, reestablish themselves. And also, I'm not taking anything away from the Jet defense, but this Miami offense is not that dynamic, and they didn't pressure the Jets defense much all day.
2nd and 5 for Heward. The pass is complete midfield and inside the 50-yard line is J.J. Johnson, and here is a late flag falling now on the far side.
It's going to be a call against Tim Ruddy, I think, again inside.
Come on, Ron.
I wanted to say Tim Ruddy really having a good year. Dave Wanstead really singled him out by the offensive lineman. Personal foul, clipping. You talked about it, Greg. He lost a little weight, and we hear that quite a bit now around the NFL. Players losing weight, trimming up, they feel better, they run better, and of course that means they're going to perform better on the field.
Personal foul, clipping, number 61, offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
That is Tim Ruddy, the 7th-year center out of Notre Dame.
Well, this makes next week's game. Miami traveling to Indianapolis. They get beat by the Green Bay Packers today. There are going to be some really interesting AFC East games down the stretch.
2nd and 20. Stewart throws to this side. Denson out of bounds at the 40-yard line. And, you know, it was interesting to hear Al Groh talk about, you want to see the Colts travel to Green Bay and lose in the snow today. And Al Groh saying, you know, no disrespect to the team, but that team is built to play indoors.
They are.
That's exactly where they'll play next week in Indianapolis.
They struggled in Chicago and in Green Bay early in the games. Tried to make some furious comebacks, but fell short both times. So Indianapolis right back in this race with Miami. Buffalo
a winner at Kansas City today. Heward over the middle to Denson, and Denson is hit at the 43-yard line, and that will wind the clock down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here at Pro Player Stadium. Al Groh's Jets are firmly looking for 60 minutes. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the game between the Jets and the Dolphins. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms and Armin Katayan. The Jets lead Miami 20-3. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. This is a 4th and 6 for the Dolphins, and Damon Heward, he throws to this side. It is incomplete, and the ball will go over on downs to the New York Jets. And this has been a turnaround that Al Groh certainly has been looking for, Phil, because he gave his team, he made the point during the week, 10 wins is what we want, and that'll be good enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah, we got to go 4-2 down the stretch. But I think what's going to be satisfying for the New York Jets today when they go home and they watch the film is they came down and beat the Miami Dolphins at their own game. The strength of this Miami team is to play these type of games where the defenses dominate and not make mistakes. Miami's a team that cracked today. The New York Jets hung in there and really played physical football, something they haven't done the last 4 weeks.
There are the standings in the East, and Phil and I will be in Indianapolis 1 week from today. These Dolphins will travel up there and try to hold off the Colts. Bernie Parmalee not about to get close to the sideline. He falls down at the 45-yard line, and the clock continues to move at 1:45.
Well, you're right. This is going to be really, what a terrific day for Bernie Parmalee, Greg, to be an ex-Dolphin, to come down here. When you look at all the tapes and you watch the Dolphins and Jets play, Bernie Parmalee is always a big factor in the special teams, making blocks and tackles. But to come down here and to run and score on 2 running plays, there's going to be some smiling going on tonight on that plane going home.
13 carries for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns for Parmalee. We'll get another carry right here to the 43. And we come up on 60 seconds to play. Dave Wanstead, who has done a terrific job. We asked him the difference between coaching here and his 6-year stint in Chicago. He says he feels that he has the pulse of the team more here in Miami.
Well, it comes down to this, Greg. I think he's just very confident in what he's got to do as a head coach. And he doesn't second guess himself. He says, if I think the players need to go out and have an easy practice, I'll give them an easy practice. In Chicago, I just said, well, today's Wednesday, we got to practice hard. I didn't have the courage or the conviction to change what I believed in, so he would just go with what the schedule said.
And that'll do it. The final seconds will tick off of the clock by the boards is the Jets' 3-game losing streak and the Miami Dolphins' 3-game winning streak. A terrific defensive performance, and Vinny Testaverde, interceptions yes, but victorious today.